Hello, Mr. McClain.
I was born in Siler City, 1927, May the 27th, 1927. Lived here until I was 16 years old. I left here and I went to college in Hampton, Virginia for 1 year. Then I was drafted into the Army. I stayed in the Army 30 months. Discharged, honorable discharge, and then I left there and I went to New York City. I lived in New York City for a couple of years. Then I come back to Siler City. I lived here 715 Hill Street ever since. I've done a lot of things here. I joined a church, raised a family, happily married for almost 6 to 7 years.
This is radio while you were born. I couldn't really tell you the right location, but I think it was near here. Right, I think it was, this is about as close as I think it would be. Because they had a fence there. Yeah. I think right here is one.
Do you have a picture of the house?
Lord, no, that little shack been torn down many moons ago. It was a company house. My daddy was a company man. He worked for the cotton mill. And he lived in a cotton mill house. They called it a mill home. And that little house was sitting in here. It was 3 houses in here. There was 1 here and 2 on the other side. All mill homes. This is nothing here now. Shut down. But worked there 40 years. One side of the street were private-owned homes, and the other side was company home. The company owned all those houses there, and the private over here. Let's stop and see the mayor here. Would you like to do that now?
Yes, sir.
Let me see if he's in his... Bud's Tire Company. We'll see if he's here. Okay.
Hello, Albert.
Right.
How are you
Fine.
doing? Good to see
Good
you.
to see you.
That's right. Always good to see you.
Good.
For what they're saying, with Albert, Miss McClain, his word is his bond. When he gives you his word is there. It's like all societies all over the world. There are those who you can put value to their word. You'll know exactly what they're saying is good. Then there are other individuals in the world that, you have to take what they tell you with a grain of salt. Just don't know whether it's a real thing or not. But with Mr. McClain, it's been the real thing.
And we was passing this Martin Luther King Boulevard Road. He played the main part in it. Wasn't for guys like Mayor Graham, never happened. I've gone to other towns such as Raleigh, Winston-Salem. I saw Martin Luther King. I said, why can't Siler City have Martin Luther King Boulevard and Martin Luther King Drive, and I went down and implemented that to the town board of Siler City. First they rejected me, but I said, well, we'll be back with it. Next time I went back, I had about 75 or 100 black people there with me. And I recommended it again, and it passed. And they put a street, Martin Luther King, going right straight down beside my house here. And I was a happy man, rejoiced. I mean, all the black folks was really happy about it. We have accomplished something. Let our people know that who Martin Luther King is, what he represented. He represents freedom. You know, when I was a young man in a Sunday school, they called me one Sunday to review the lesson. I stood up and I didn't know what to say. While the lesson was going on, I was back there playing, going. So I mumbled out a few words. And I said to myself then, I said, if I ever have another opportunity to speak up in my church, I said, I'm going to have something to say, because I'm going to pay attention to what's going on so that I can say something about what's going on with lessons taking place in my church. And ever since that day, I've been able to speak up and not ashamed to do it. I grab that mic and go right on. It doesn't bother me. But you have to be determined to do it. You have to be dedicated. When you determined and you're dedicated and God is with you, you can't be stopped. It taught me a lot. It taught me how to love the Lord and how to maintain myself around people. Here's a room of knowledge. So I was preacher steward, I think about 15 years. Next man to the preacher, but that was really a good job. It was a hard job, but I done it with for blessing. See, to me then, I didn't mind doing things because it was easy for me to do it because I'd always trusted in the Lord to help me do things. And we also had several pastors that died while I was next man to him. And we always had service. If one pastor would die, I'd always find a speaker to take his place. Back in the early 40s, and the new church started building, I think in the 50s. Around 50, 51, they started from the ground. And I couldn't lay bricks, but I made mortar, rolled the bricks to them, and whatever I could do to enhance the building of the church, that's what we done. Yeah, when I read the scripture, he said, how about read the scripture, one of your own? I just pick up the book. And whatever my hand turned to, that's what I read. The gates of Zion more than all the dwelling of Jacob. Glorious things are spoken of thee, O city of God. I will make mention of Rahab and Balaam to them. They know me. Behold, Tyre and Ephraim will enjoy this man. I learned the Bible, and I studied the Bible. You get me talking about the Bible, sometimes I can't stop because I really read it, and I really love the Lord, and I talk about the Bible. And I know the Bible. I know what it says. I know you have to be obedient. If you're going to make it into the kingdom of God, you're going to have to be. It was an all-white school, and I always asked my mother, I said, Mom, why can't I attend that school there? She said, you can't because that's an all-white school. That's no color attend that school. So you cannot go to that school. And that disheartened me. And I really wanted to attend that school because all of my white buddies that I played with attended school at an early age. And we grew up separated, but we still played with each other because I was born right in the heart of Siler City, and all my friends was white. And I played with them, and we got along good. There was no fights, maybe a little rock throwing once in a while, but nothing serious. But we really got along good. And today, so some of those guys are still living, and we still meet and talk with each other today. We always talk about growing up in Siler City, equal, separated but equal. But that's not so. We were separated, but we wasn't equal. But the restaurant was a little different. They did have a place in the back for the black people. But as far as eating with the white, we couldn't do that. But they did have a place. For if you wanted a meal, you could sit down and eat in the back. That was the only place I knew in Siler City that was separated. But anything else, if you had the money, buy something, you could go right in that store and buy it. There was no Jim Crow there whatsoever. I need some tomato plants.
So you can get them.
Okay. This is this is the oldest store in town, isn't it?
Supposed to be 1888. 1888.
That's where I buy all my seeds for my garden. That's why they didn't come up, I tell you.
You tell her how many seeds you buy, $2 at a time.
Well, that's all I need, but they didn't come up. I believe you kind of cheat me a little bit on my seeds.
Ain't nobody I'd rather do it to than you.
Yeah, right.
Oh, God, I've been knowing him since.
I was a little boy, and he come up to me.
Don't start lying. Yeah, I thought he asked you. There's 1, 2, 3, there's 4, 5 of them.
Yeah.
One was in the
Navy.
Navy, Marines, Army. 2 was in the Army.
Then there's. Billy, we're gonna leave you now. We thank you for letting us look around.
Okay.
I'll be back down in a few more days.
We'll have some more pocket change with you.
That's one of the commissioners. He caught him sitting on the truck, and he's talking about how much money that each one of them had.
That's why I'm sitting on the back of the truck.
All right, you guys have a good day.
Somebody need a yard mowed or something.
You're right. Yeah. 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 Don't even mow your own yard. No, that's gonna happen. We always support the fire department. Because when I call you guys come running, you know that.
Well, we tried.
Yeah?
We tried. Thank God you don't call us that often.
I sure don't. I hope I never call you.
Live.
Okay, you guys have a good day.
Tight with nobody. If I had anything, I give it to you. You can't live with your fish balled up. Nothing can get in. And something can get in there. But like that, can't nothing get in. That's the way I live.